Hi everyone! Today we're talking about the essential things that every filmmaker should know, stick to and remember.
Obviously, high-level productions like in Hollywood have these aspects under control, so we're mostly talking about what's important for low-budget run-and-gun filmmakers like ourselves. Trust me, you don't want to skip this one.
Oh, hold on. Two to-do dudes. Who the fuck? We're going to start with the first thing that is more like a principle that you have to adapt and stick to. You can never ever be too prepared. Your biggest asset as independent filmmaker is the ability to produce high quality work, and preparation is crucial when it comes to that. Before you start shooting anything, do your best to...
First of all, inspect the location. You have to know exactly where the right angles are and where you're going to place your subject, and etc, etc. For example, if you're shooting a wedding, try to find the phone number of the venue manager and call them and go to the venue in advance and have a look. You need to know exactly where the power sockets are, where the light is going to come from. The worst thing, the absolutely worst thing that you can do as a filmmaker is just rock up unannounced and try to win it, because this is never a good idea.
Time of the day. Figure out your schedule, know exactly when you're going to be shooting and what the weather is going to be. Even if you're shooting indoors, very often you need to rely on natural light that comes through the doors or windows, and knowing where they're coming from can change the situation drastically. By the way, there's a number of apps like this one that can predict the position of sun during the day.
Know your story. This is one of the major points that you have to remember at all times, and even years later after you have matured into a professional videographer. If your video doesn't have a story, it's just boring to watch. That may be a bit unclear, so let me give you an example. Imagine you are tasked to shoot a video for a barbershop. So you rock up and you start shooting various B-roll shots, customers coming through the door and all that sort of stuff. But then in post-production, you look at those shots and they just don't connect together. Please know your story, know the message that you want to deliver with your video. This is very important.
Know the shots. In contrast to the previous point, you don't have to know what the end result is going to be. However, you need to have a limited set of shots and camera movements that you need to stick to. This is a whole separate topic that we will cover in detail in another video, but you need to know the basics. Emotions that you want to convey dictate the camera movements and framing. These two things can be fixed in the post. Stabilize your shots. It's far easier to get a basic tripod or monopod than spending hours and hours trying to fix it in the post and end up with a subpar result. Get a variety of shots, from wide range to close-ups, so you have more to play with in the post-production.
White balance and exposure can't always be fixed in post. Those are the two things that you always have to remember, and I obviously learned it the hard way, trying to fix the 8-bit footage from the prosumer camera that I was playing with. And the end result was I got color bending all over the place that I had to hide with various masks and all that sort of trickery. And if you don't want to end up in the same situation, make sure that your exposure is on point and your white balance is set right.
Lighting makes all the difference. You will realize it as soon as I will tell you that this shot was done on an iPhone. Control lighting is your main tool when it comes to the picture quality, because at the end of the day, light creates the picture.
Yeah, have a look at these two videos shot at the same set but with different lighting. Obviously, when you have controlled lighting, you're able to accentuate what is really important in this scene,
Which is obviously my face.
Sound is more than 50% of your video. This has been demonstrated many times by multiple filmmakers, including some on YouTube, and I'll link this video above that showcases that really well. Please make sure that you capture sound right, that you don't have any peaking and your sound levels are correct. This is especially important if you're shooting a documentary style video that includes some interviews, so people are talking in the video. But even if you're doing a fancy transition video that are very popular nowadays, very often sound captured on the scene works for videos like that much better than sounds that you can download off the internet.
Know your editing software. This is not the most obvious point, but I will clarify it. You need to know the abilities of your editing software, what you can and what you can't do in the post-production. Otherwise, you will end up with a bunch of useless footage that you won't be able to use anywhere. Modern editing software allows you to do things that previously were only available to high-end production companies, like easy rotoscoping, but again, you need to know how far you can push it.
Have a checklist that you go through pretty much every time you go to shoot anything. I can't stress it enough. Here's a good example. So this checklist is a great mechanism that helps me reduce the amount of stress I experience every time I go shooting anything, and it basically helps me to completely eliminate screwed up footage. So I guess that was it, right?
Yeah, sounds like it.
If you have a question about what you saw in the video, or you're just lonely and you want to chat, please drop a comment below.
But most importantly, don't forget to subscribe, push the notification bell, that helps more than you think.
Thanks for watching, dudes. See you next time.
Bye!